Hi dear students, welcome back to another video lesson. So we are now on the third quarter video lessons on grade 7 mathematics. So for this quarter, so we will only be studying one particular branch of mathematics. So this branch of mathematics is what we call the geometry. So for our week 1 lesson, so we will be discussing about the basic concepts and terms related to geometry. So which are the undefined terms, point, line, and plane. So to start with our lesson, let us have our lesson objectives. So for the first objective, we will discuss undefined terms in geometry. So we will discuss why these terms became undefined. And then we will represent the point, line, and plane using concrete models. And then next, we will illustrate other geometric terms on points and lines. And finally, we will illustrate the subsets of a line. So bago natin umpisahan yung ating discussion on the undefined terms of geometry, let us have first the definition of geometry. So, dun sa nakaraang quarter, so, na-discuss sa inyo yung algebra. So, dito naman, another branch of mathematics will be discussed, will be introduced, which is geometry. So, when we say geometry, geometry comes from the Greek words geo means earth, and then metron means measurement. So, geometry means earth measurement. Okay, so it's about something we measure everything on earth. And then also, geometry is a branch of mathematics that deals with the study of sizes, shapes, angles, positions, and dimensions of things. So lahat po ng mga bagay na may kinalaman sa sukat, mga hugis, ayan, mga anggulo. So under po yan sa geometry. So magtungo na po tayo sa mga undefined terms in geometry. So in Euclidean geometry, the geometric terms point, line, and plane are all undefined terms and are purely mental concepts or ideas. Okay, so meron po kasi tayong tatlong undefined terms in geometry. Una po yung point, yung line, and plane. And then, however, we can use concrete objects around us to represent these ideas. Thus, these undefined terms can only be described. Okay, so since purely mental concepts lang po or ideas yung point, line, plane, yung mga terms na yan, so they can be represented using objects po, concrete objects, which will be discussed later on. So, thus, yung mga undefined terms na yan, pwede lang po natin silang i-describe. And then, by the way, Euclid is the father of geometry. So, let us have the first undefined term. So, what is a point? Okay, so point muna po ang ating i-discuss. So, kapag sinabi nating point, it indicates an exact location in space. Okay. And then, a point has no dimension. So, wala pong sukat, hindi po nasusukat ang isang point. So, ang point para lang po siyang tuldok. Period. And then, in naming a point, we usually use an uppercase letter. So, kapag nag-name po tayo ng point, ginagamitan po natin yan ng uppercase letter o yung tinatawag nating capital letter. And then, isang letter lang po ang ating ginagamit sa pag-name ng point. So, let us now have the pictorial model of a point. So, based on the definition of a point, it indicates an exact location in space. And then, remember that a point has no dimension. So, hindi po siya nasusukat. So, wala po siyang length, wala po siyang width, wala po siyang height. And then, kapag pinapangalanan natin ang isang point, of course, we usually use an uppercase letter, yung capital letter po. Like, for example, this one. So, ayan po yung ating point. Ayan, yung blue. Nakikita nyo yung naka-shade. And then, yung ginamit niyang uppercase letter is letter A. So, kung isusulat po natin yan in words, so that is point A. So, ayan po siya. Or, ganito siya. Point A mismo. So based on the previous slides, so nandun po yung statement na kung saan naka-indicate na yung mga undefined terms are purely mental concepts or ideas. However, they can be described using concrete objects. Like for example, we have the concrete models of a point. So ayan. So makikita po natin dyan yung laser point. So saan po dyan yung point? Of course, ito po siya. Ayan yung point na yan. Yung area na yan. And then we also have the next one, yung corner po ng table. Okay, so yung corner ng table, ito siya. Ito. Ayan. Point din po yan. And then we also have the tip of a ball pen o tip of a pen. So ito po siya. So kung i-ano natin siya, ito yung kanyang tip. Ayan. So those are just examples of concrete models of a point. So marami pa pong mga examples na pwede nating i-describe yung point. So next undefined term is a line. Linya sa Tagalog. So a line is a set of points arranged in a row. Okay, so ito po yung mga points, set of points na naka-arrange in a row. So ibig sabihin nakahilera po. And then, it infinitely extends in both directions. So, yung line po kasi meron po tayong arrowhead. Okay, so, dalawa po yung arrowhead ng line, kaya nga po siya considered as line. And then, nag-extend po yung line na yun in both direction. Infinitely extends in both directions. So, ibig sabihin po, wala po siyang katapusan. And then, it has only one dimension. So, kung yung point po, wala po siyang dimension, so wala siyang length, wala siyang width, wala siyang height. So, yung line po, meron lang po siyang isang dimension. And then, two distinct points determine a line. So, kapag nagne-name tayo ng line, so, ginagamitan po natin yan dalawang magkaibang points. So, is dalawang points lang po, pwede na po nating pangalanan yung line. And then, kapag nagne-name tayo ng line, we usually use a lowercase letter or any 2 points to name a line. Okay. So, let us have the pictorial model of a line. So, para mas maintindihan nyo kung paano po pag name ng line, so ito po siya. Okay. So, ayan. So, you can see, pwede po nating gamitin ay dalawang distinct points. So, ibig sabihin ng two distinct points, dalawang magkaibang point. Okay, like for example, ayan, yung una po nating line, point A, meron siyang point A, tsaka point B. So, kapag pinangalanan po natin yan, ganito po siya. Yung symbol niya, ayan, ayan. So, kailangan po yung ating symbol, meron pong arrowhead. Kapag po kasi walang arrowhead yan, line segment lang po yan. Okay. And then, pwede rin naman natin siyang pangalanan as line BA. AB or BA, magkamukha lang po yan. And then, again, kung lower case letter naman po ang gagamitin natin, like for example, gamitin natin letter Q. Ayan. So, pwede po natin yan pangalanan as line Q. And then, meron pa tayong isang example dito, ayan, line GH o kaya line HG. So, sulat natin, line GH or line HG. So, kahit alin man dyan ang ating isulat, pareho lang yan as long as yung mga letters talaga na yun ang ginamit natin to name a line. So, next naman, the concrete models of a line. So, ayan, meron po tayo dyang electrical wire. So, copper wire. So, ayan, concrete model po yan ng line. And then, we also have curtain rods. Okay, so in curtain rods, ito po yan. Ayan, so, concrete model po siya ng line. And then, we also have spaghetti pasta, yung noodles po. So, line din po yan. So, again, just like point, marami po tayong mga examples na pwedeng gamitin to describe a line. So, next last but not the least is a plane. Okay, so anong ibig sabihin ng plane? Hindi po yung eroplano. So in mathematics, a plane may be defined as a set of points in an endless flat surface. And then, 3 non-collinear points, 2 intersecting lines, 2 parallel lines or a line, and a point not on the line determines a plane. So marami po tayong ways para ma-determine yung plane. So una po, 3 non-collinear points. So ibig sabihin po ng non-collinear, so hindi po sila sunod-sunod. So pag sinabi natin collinear, diretso lang po yan. Nakahilera po, naka-arrange in a row. Okay, so ibig sabihin, pag kinonect natin yon, magpo-form talaga siya ng line. Kaya siya collinear. So, since non-collinear, kailangan po nasa iba't ibang pwesto po yung mga points. And then, we also have 2 intersecting lines. So, yung pa letter X po. So, yung meron po siyang point of intersection. And then, we also have 2 parallel lines. So, ito pong lines na yan, ito po yung lines na kahit anong gawin natin, hindi sila magi-intersect. Just like, unlike 2 intersecting lines na meron pong point of intersection. And then, we also have a line and a point. Not on the line determines a plane. And then, in naming a plane, we use a lowercase letter or 3 points on the plane to name a plane. Okay, so again, ginagamitan po natin yan ng lowercase, so small letter, o kaya naman yung 3 points na nandun sa plane na yon. Okay, so 3 non-collinear points. So let us have the pictorial model of a plane. So ayan, as you can see, we have 3 points inside the plane. Okay, so set of points in an endless flat surface. So meron po tayong 3 non-collinear points. So ibig sabihin na yan, yung mga points natin hiwa-hiwalay and then hindi tayo makaka-form ng line. Okay, so papangalanan natin yung plane na yan, that is plane ABC. Ayan po. Or, kung meron tayo ditong, like for example, small letter M. Ayan. So, pwede rin po natin yung pangalanan as plane M. Ayan. So, lowercase letter. So, ngayon naman, we have the concrete models of a plane. So, ito yung mga examples natin. Blackboard. So, ayan. And then, yung pad paper. And then, of course, yung pader, yung wall. Okay, so those are just few examples of concrete models of a plane. So, after nating i-discuss yung 3 undefined terms in geometry, so let us have an activity. So, i-apply natin yung mga concepts na yon. So, through activities. So, for the first activity, refer to the figure below to identify what is being asked. So, ayan po ang ating illustration, yung ating figure. And then, sasagutin lang po natin or i-identify natin kung ano ang kanyang hinahanap. So, first, name the points in the interior region of the circle. Okay. So, name the points in the interior region of the circle. So, meron po tayong circle dyan. Ayan. So, papangalanan po natin yung mga points na nasa loob ng circle na yon. Okay, so yung mga points po na yan, as you can see, ayan, T, O, and Y. So, sa loob lang po ng circle, hindi po sa loob ng plane, hindi po sa loob ng triangle. So, specific po siya sa loob po ng circle. So, yung mga points na yan, point P, point O, and also point Y. So, pwede rin namang, ayan, point P, point O, point Y. So, yan lang po yung mga points na nasa loob ng region ng circle. Next naman, name the points in the interior region of the triangle. Okay. So, dito naman, ang tinutukoy naman niya, yung mga points na nasa loob ng triangle. Okay. Kung titignan kasi natin yung ating triangle, yung mga points na nasa loob ay isa lang. Ito, yung R. Kasi yung P, line po siya. Okay, so pangalanan natin as point R or ayan, tuldok and then R. Next, name the line or lines in the interior region of the triangle. So ngayon naman, line naman po ang ating papangalanan sa loob ng triangle. So hindi na po natin pwedeng gamitin yung R, yung point R. It's because point po yun. Hindi po siya line. So yung line po na nakikita lang natin sa loob, ayan, is yung line P. So paano natin yun isulat? So we have line P. So yan lang po yung line na nasa loob ng triangle. Next, give other names for line H. Okay. So as you can see, nandito po yung line H. Ayan. So ano daw po yung ibang name na pwede nating i-describe dito sa isulat dito sa line H na to. So using 2 points, yung dalawang points, 2 distinct points, point S and point G. So pwede natin yung pangalanan as line SG or line GS. So pwede rin namang line SG, line GS. So pero usually ang ginagamit natin of course is yung may symbol talaga ng line. So ayan. Line SG and line GS. Next, name the plane that can be formed by the 3 points in the interior of the circle. So, yung mga points po na nasa loob ng circle, so interior ng circle, again, are points T, O, and Y. So, kung plane po ang ating pinag-uusapan po dyan, so 3 non-collinear points po kasi yan, yung mga points na yan. So, pwede natin pangalanan as plane TOY. Plane TOY. Pwede rin namang OTY, YOT. Okay, so ayan, pwede nating sulat as plane TOY. Plane TOY. So, next naman, we also have other geometric terms on points and lines. So, ito yung mga ibang mga terms related sa points and lines. So, una naman natin is collinear points. What is a collinear point? Or what are collinear points? So, these are points lying on the same line. Okay, ito po yung mga points na makikita natin or naka-arrange sa isang line, na nasa isang line. So, like for example, ayan. Kung collinear points ang ating pag-uusapan, ayan, meron po tayong line dyan, which is line PS or line SP. Okay, as you can see, collinear points, ibig sabihin, yung mga points na yan, point P, Q, R, S, nasa isang line, nasa parehong linya. So, ayan, again, yung line po natin dyan is line PS or line SP. So, let us have coplanar points or lines, coplanar lines. These are points or lines lying on the same plane. So, dalawa po yung example natin dito, coplanar points saka coplanar lines. So, sa points muna tayo, coplanar points muna tayo. Ayan po yung mga points lying on the same plane. Point A, point B, point C. So, kung papangalanan natin yung plane na yan, plane ABC. And then, kung coplanar lines naman ang pinag-uusapan natin, ayan, meron po tayo dyan, line KL, ayan, pwede rin namang line W, line F. So, yung dalawang lines po natin dyan, ang ginamit po natin, lowercase letter. So, W and F. And then, yung isa naman nating line, so, using 2 distinct points, point K and point L. So, yan po yung coplanar points and coplanar lines. So, let us have the other geometric terms on lines. So, unang-una na po dyan is yung intersecting lines. So, these are lines that cross each other at exactly one point. So, ayan. So, yung intersecting line from the word intersect, So, nagkakaroon po sila ng intersection. So, nagmi-meet yung line, nagkakabungguan yung line, at exactly 1 point lang. Okay. So, let us have an example. Ayan. As you can see, meron po tayo dyang dalawang lines na nag-i-intersect. So, pangalanan lang po natin yung mga line. So, yung line natin, una is line GK. Tapos, yung pangalawang line naman natin is HJ. So, line HJ. And then, yung kanilang point of intersection. So, kung saan sila nag-cross is yung point I. So, ayan po yung kanilang point of intersection. Ibig sabihin, line GK and line HJ intersect at point I. Okay. So, again, yung lines natin, GK and HG. And then, yung point of intersection naman is point I. Next line naman tayo is yung tinatawag nating parallel lines. So, these are lines that do not have point of intersection. So, kung yung intersecting lines, meron po silang point of intersection. So, ito pong mga lines na yan, kahit anong gawin natin, mag-e-extend sila, pero hindi sila magmi-meet. So, hindi sila magkakaroon ng bungguan. So, like for example, ayan, line WX, line YZ. Okay, so paano natin isusulat yan? So, line WX is parallel to line YZ. So, yung symbol po natin for parallel lines, ayan, dalawa pong linya. Ayan, parang letter L, dalawa. So, line WX is parallel to line YZ. So, yung next naman po natin is yung tinatawag nating perpendicular lines. So, these are lines that intersect each other and form right angles. So, ang pinagkaiba lang po sa intersecting lines is that kapag nag-intersect yung dalawang lines, so nagpo-form po ng right angles, yung 90-degree angle. So, ito po yung ating example ng perpendicular lines. Ayan. So, meron po tayo dyang line AB, tsaka line XY. And then, kapag nag-intersect po yan, magkakaroon po yan ng right angles. So, magpo-form po ng right angles. So, ito po yung mga right angles na pwede niyang ma-form. Ayan. So, ang sukat po ng right angles, exactly 90 degrees. Okay. So, yung pong mga intersecting lines, pwede po silang maging perpendicular lines. Pero, yung mga perpendicular lines, hindi po sila pwedeng maging intersecting lines. It's because, yung mga intersecting lines po kasi, hindi naman sila nagpo-form ng 90-degree angles always. So, yung tanging yung perpendicular lines lang po. So, kung papangalanan natin yan, line AB is perpendicular. So, ito po yung symbol niya. Perpendicular to line XY. So, next naman is concurrent lines. 3 or more lines in a plane are said to be concurrent if they pass through the same point. Okay. So, kung meron po tayong tatlo or higit pang lines na nagpapass or dumadaan dun sa isang point, so isang point lang po, pwede natin sabihin na yung lines na yon are concurrent. Like for example, ayan. So, meron po tayo dyan, line A. Ito po yung line A, line B, and then line C. So, tatlong linya po yan na kung saan nagpa-pass through sila dun sa isang point. So, same point, which is point E. Ayan po, yung nasa gitna. So, ayan po. So, pwede nating sabihin na line A, line B, and line C is concurrent at point E. So, next naman is skew lines. So these are non-parallel lines that do not intersect. So, non-parallel lines that do not intersect. So, para mas maintindihan niyo po kung ano yung skew lines, let us have the following figure. So, kung makikita niyo po dyan, yung ating line 1, ayan, ayan po, nasa taas, line 1. So, nandito po sa plane na yan, sa taas, upper portion. And then, ito namang line 2, nandito po siya sa kabilang side, yung blue line. Okay, so, kapag po skew lines, hindi po sila nagmi-meet. And then, hindi rin sila parallel lines. Tapos, wala po sila sa isang plane. Magkaibang plane po sila. Like, for example nga po, yung line 1, ayan, nasa taas po. Yung line 2 naman, nasa bandang ibaba. Ayan po, yung nasa front po natin. So, let us have an activity for this other geometric terms. So, refer to the figure to identify what is being asked. So, ayan po yung ating figure, rectangular prism or cube. Ayan. So, meron po tayong 8 different points, 8 distinct points. Point P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, and W. So, yung una po natin, ayan. So, given the points P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, and W are corners of a box as shown. So, yung una po natin, name 2 pairs of intersecting line. Okay. Name 2 pairs of intersecting lines. So, dalawang pares po ng intersecting lines. So, line, pwede nating isulat as line PR. Ito, line PR and line RS. Pwede rin naman pong line UW and VW. So, sa line PR and RS, ang point of intersection nila is point R. And then, sa line UW and VW, ang point of intersection naman nila is yung point W. So, marami pa pong mga intersecting lines na pwede nating kunin po dyan sa ating figure. So, next naman, name 2 pairs of parallel lines. Okay, so ito yung mga lines na never nagmi-meet. So, let us have the first pair of parallel lines. So, yung sa taas. Ayan, so line TU and PR. So, ayan, or pwede rin namang sulat natin as TU is parallel to PR. Next, pwede rin naman po yung nasa harapan. Line PQ and line RS. Okay, so kung yung unang line po natin, pahiga, yun naman pong pangalawang pair natin, patayo. So, line PQ is parallel to line RS. Next naman, for letter C, name 3 lines concurrent at R. So, meron pong tatlong lines na nagpapass sila dun sa isang point, which is point R for letter C. So, ito po yung mga points na yan, at lines na yan, bilugan natin. So, ito, PR, UR, and then SR or RS. Ayan. Nagpa-pass through sila sa same point na point R. So, kung lilista natin yan, lines PR, UR, and SR. Next, name 3 lines concurrent at V. So, kung at V naman, Ito, QV, TV, tsaka WV. Sulat natin, lines QV, TV, and WB. So, tandaan, pag concurrent lines po, dapat 3 or more lines po yung nagpa-pass through dun sa same point. And then, we also have name two pairs of skew lines. Okay, so ito yung mga non-parallel lines na hindi sila nag-intersect, hindi sila nagmi-meet. So, let us have the first one, yun sa ilalim, lines SW and line TP. Okay, so isa po yung pair ng skew lines. Pwede rin naman po yung lines PQ and VW. Okay. And then, for the last topic for this video lesson, we'll have the subsets of a line. So, yung mga subsets ng line, ayan, yung una po natin is yung line segment. Okay, so ano pinagkaiba ng line sa line segment? So, a line segment has two endpoints. Okay. So, ang line segment, para mas maintindihan nyo siya, wala po silang arrowhead. Unlike yung line. So, endpoints lang po ang meron sa kanila. Okay, as you can see, wala tayong nakikitang arrowheads. Kasi nga, line segments lang po sila. So, kung papangalanan natin po itong line segment na ito, ganito siya. Ayan lang, guhit lang po sa taas. And then, AD. So, kapag may arrowhead po yan, considered po as line. Okay, and then yung mga points na nasa loob ng AD, okay, yung parang pwede nating sabihin na midpoints. So, kapag midpoint po kasi yung mismong nasa gitna sa pagitan ng dalawang endpoints. So, yung mga points na nasa loob ng AD, ng line segment AD are point B and point C. So, yung last natin is ray. So, a ray has only one endpoint and it extends endlessly in one direction. So, ito po ang itsura ng ray. So, kung kanina yung line segment po, two endpoints. So, dito one endpoint lang po siya. And then, meron tayo ditong portion na may arrowhead. So, yung isang ano po dito, nag-extend po siya endlessly in one direction. So, yung ray po natin dito is ray XZ. So, or in symbols, ayan, isa lang po yung arrowhead niya, XZ. Ayan, so pwede rin naman yung arrowhead niya na sa kaliwa. Okay, so ayan po ang tamang way ng pagpapangalan po ng ray. Tandaan po kapag line, dalawang arrowhead. Pag naman po line segment, endpoints lang po. So, parang guhit lang po siya. And then, pag ray naman po, may isang endpoint tsaka isang arrowhead. So, up next po, we will classify different kinds of angles. So, na-meet nyo naman yung mga angles na yan during the lessons on measurement of angles. So, mas makikilala nyo sila dito. So, classifying different kinds of angles. So, yun lang. Maraming salamat.